Hello and welcome to the Frontington and Backwoods Railway. In this video I'm not focusing on Frontington, nor am I paying any attention to Backwoods. Instead, I'm switching over to the other side of the shed, where I'm building my new station, Tutherside. First of all, a quick recap of the plan. Since I have space, I'm going to extend the layout around the back wall and into this space over here. The track plan looks something like this. Or, to be more precise, exactly like this. It's loosely based on a real station, but more for inspiration than because I'm trying to model that location. So if you take Kingsbridge station, the southernmost terminus of the Dartmouth Steam Railway in Devon, and flip it... No, not that way. There we go. That's Tutherside. Roughly. So let's start by cutting some wood. Now I can assemble the wood into a frame. This job would have been a little easier with more people, but I only had one people, so I made do. Then I cut some more wood. And with the frame laid temporarily on a table, I screwed that wood on top. This will raise the main part of the layout a little higher, making room for a lower level that will eventually be the edge of a river, or the sea, or whatever you choose to imagine it being. And my screws weren't long enough to go through that much wood all in one go, so I started by drilling out some pockets. And then the screws go inside and clamp the wood together. With the table packed away, it's time to put some legs on. So I cut some more wood. This would have been a lot easier with more people. But I still only had one people. So I made do. This is a good start. It certainly looks like a frame with legs. But a quick check with the spirit level shows that it's not quite perfect. Yet. And despite cutting all the legs to the same length, some of them have developed an aversion to the floor. Turns out the issue wasn't with the legs at all. The shed floor isn't consistently flat. So some tinkering and fettling was required. Also, one of the legs decided that this should have been a single power socket, not a double. We agreed to disagree on that, and I moved the leg over a bit. Now, before I get too carried away, I decided now would be a good time to do some painting. With Frontington, when I made it originally, I didn't have this luxury because I was building it in a garage that wasn't mine. So the scenic backboards were painted separately and fitted to the layout after it was built, which was a pain. This time round I can paint directly onto the shed wall, because it's mine. Fortunately, I had plenty of this light blue emulsion paint left over. Now for the top, and I'll need some more wood. No, different kind of wood this time. I'm going for 9mm ply. Which brings me to a question I'm sure we've all pondered. How do you fit an 8x4 foot sheet of plywood into the boot of a Mini? Well, it turns out it's easier than you might think. You just cut the plywood into smaller pieces. Job done. I actually had the wood cut in very specific places, not just so it would fit into the car, but also so that it would fit my layout. Shout out to Right Price in Shepton Mallet for being friendly and affordable and cutting my wood for me and helping me to cram it into the Mini. Anyway, with it roughly the right size, I could then get my circular saw out and cut it a little more precisely. Except that I need a new blade, and this one's getting very blunt. So I switched to my jigsaw instead. They're still only roughly cut to shape, but it'll do for now. The important thing is that they line up nicely on the wood underneath, where I'll be screwing them in. You can also more clearly see the recess here where the water level will go. It's not going to be a deep pour or anything, just a simple harbour wall and a bit of a shoreline. In time, I'll make all of this look a bit more organic. Then I printed the important parts of the layout. The long, straightish bits are going to be pretty obvious, but I really needed to nail down the exact position of this run of points, as everything else will depend on those being right. This was printed from AnyRail, by the way, which is where I designed the layout in the first place. I think I'm happy with that, so I laid out some points I got for Christmas and my birthday. I didn't quite have enough though, so I had to go and buy another one. And now that I'm happy with the position of these points, I can draw around them in pencil. This is just so that if they get knocked or moved for any reason, I can put them back in exactly the right place. I'm making particular note of where the point motors will need to go, and any holes I'll need to drill for dropper wires. So I'll also mark where the tie bar is. The track by the station itself needs to be completely straight, and there are two things I can do to make sure that it is. One is to use something that I know is already straight to help me mark out a line. And the second is to check this viewing angle, as that'll show up any kinks in the track. For now, I'm just roughly placing the track so you can see where I'm going. And I think I'm going to leave it there for this video. I've made a fair bit of progress on Tutherside, but there's still lots to do. I still need a couple more points down the far end to make the runaround loop, and then there's all the wiring and stuff to do. But that's half the fun of this hobby. There's always more to do. So thanks for joining me as I've made a start on this new part of the railway. I hope you've enjoyed seeing it starting to come together. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and do leave a comment below too. I read them all and it's lovely to hear your support and advice. But that's all for this video. Bye for now.